Hey guys, I wanted to offer some solution for the houses that are remaining on the market longer than what we all want, right? Whether it's 60 days or 90 days. I posted today about a contract that I received on a house that was on the market almost 3 months ago for 709, and our buyer got it for 685. So that was a 3-month time frame where that amount came down. So I know that these conversations are being had. But one of the things that I wanted to kind of equip you guys for a conversation with the buyer's agent is when they say, our customer really loves your house, but their payment, they can't do that payment, I'm sorry. So if you hear that the reason is because of payment, then it is an opportunity for you to be like, hey, let's talk about this. How can we help with the payment? And the way that a seller can help with the payment, because a lot of times we think, oh, we can't do anything about that, but we can. If we're at the point where the seller's willing to offer a reduction of price or seller concessions, what if we took that money that they're willing to come down and put it towards a permanent rate reduction, a permanent buying down the interest rate, helping the customer buy down the interest rate? Yes, it's the same thing as seller concessions, but we're gonna call it something different because we're trying to satisfy a need of getting that payment down, right? And so we would be offering a permanent rate reduction. Now, I know the question is, how do we put that in our listing? How do we put that in the verbiage? I honestly feel that this is just a conversation you need to have with the buyer's agent if they start talking about, my customer's just too uncomfortable with that payment, right? It's a conversation. Now, however else you want to put it in your listing or legally how you can do it, I don't know that answer, but cover it with your broker, right? But if the seller's willing to do that, it will go so much further to buy the interest rate down permanently with $10,000 than to take the price down $10,000. It's net the same, but taking a price down $10,000 only saves somebody 50, 60 bucks a month. Using $10,000 to buy the interest rate down may save them $200 a month. It's a huge difference, right? So it's a conversation to have. The second thing that you could chat about with the buyer's agent, again, their client's uncomfortable about the payment, is to say, hey, why don't we have a conversation about helping the buyer do a 2-1 buy down? So I know that word or what the 2-1 buy down was like a hot topic a couple months ago. It's still a hot topic, right? And nobody really understands it. But what it does is the seller can pay part of that interest for 2 years of their first 2 years of owning that house, which means that their payment ends up much lower for 2 years. And then hopefully like the first year it's the lowest and the second year it's a little bit lower. And then third year it goes back to normal. So in 3, it basically helps them gradually get used to their payment. And in 3 years time, more raises to be had or whatnot. And so it's something that the seller can absolutely pay. Again, it's also seller concessions technically, but we're fulfilling a need of that payment just being way too uncomfortable for a buyer. So definitely, if you have any control with the seller's agent, the buyer's agent, you're the seller's agent, the buyer's agent, let me talk to them. If you can ask them to let me have a conversation to see what we can do to help that payment. And I know in the past, it's like, oh, the payment's the payment, we can't help, but we really, really, really can help, especially if the seller's willing to do some things with seller concessions or bringing the price down. Let's look at it for sure to try to help get these houses off of the market. All right, I will talk to you guys soon. I hope that helps. Give me a shout if you need me.